Hey guys, welcome to my channel that is Nature's Realm, and today we'll be talking about a very important issue of waste management. How is it related to gardening? Well, with the help of mutual friends, both your and mine, that is red wigglers or basically earthworms, we can convert organic kitchen waste into something far more useful like vermicompost. We can use worm castings as fertilizer for our plants, and vermi wash, that will the leachate that will come out of this worm bin, as insecticide. It proves to be a very good, very beneficial insecticide for our plants. So various processes go around in our earth under a actual feet under in this entire planet, and this will be a household replication, a very live replication of what goes down underneath us. So we just need a container this big. This is 50 centimeter in length, 32 centimeters in breadth, and 30 centimeter in height. As you can see, I have made various holes here. There are multiple holes at the base of the container and some holes on the side as well, even here. It's for cross ventilation, and the holes at the base are for drainage. Even worms need a bedding, something they can lay their heads on, something to rest after a day's toil. And for that we have something that nature has provided us. Ta-da! Hay. We can use hay as a bedding along with bagasse. Now you'd be wondering what bagasse is. It's nothing but what comes out after sugarcane is crushed and all the juice is removed out. I have kept that bagasse in water for say 1 hour so that all the sugary part, all the sweet part gets dissolved in water, and what is left is basically sugar-free, sweetness-free substance, sweetness-free material that I can lay on the floor along with my hay, and that will be a perfect bedding for my worms. Many people say that using cardboard or paper is also a good alternative, but we need something that is more natural and does not decompose easily. Hay and bagasse both do not decompose easily, while cardboard and paper both will, and so the bedding will just vanish off eventually and you'll be left with nothing but this plastic base. That is exactly what we don't want. So I'll just bring the bagasse and then we'll start with the process. Here I have the bagasse with me. Look, it's all drenched in water. So first I'll squeeze the water off and then add this to my container. But before that, so that no water comes out of the container, I'll add hay first to it. Now the worm bed is finally done, and the next step in vermicomposting is to add worm culture. I'm putting the source in the description box below. Do read it if you want to know from where I got my worms. Let me show you actual worms here. They've gone deep down. I got this much amount of worm culture for 400 rupees. It contains somewhat 30 to 40 worms. You can see these worms. See, they're moving. They're quite big. One just to show how big they are. See, this is the size of one worm. It's quite big actually. These are red wigglers. They are not normal garden worms because they excrete more, they eat more, and they grow very big, and they also multiply quickly. So now I'll be adding all of this to my worm bin gently. Ensure that the pH of the worm bin does not exceed 7 or does not drop down below 6, because worms tend to do well in neutral conditions. In acidic conditions, even plants don't do well, so these are living creatures, how would they? So it's better to maintain a pH well between 6 and 7. And how to make sure that you don't exceed the limit of 6 and 7 is that don't add any citrus stuff, any what can I say, any oily stuff, citrus stuff, overcooked meals, meat, because we tend to eat all acidic food. We tend to make food acidic and then eat it. Sometimes our food is basic, which includes cakes and stuff. So don't add all that because worms don't tend to digest it, and then they will eventually start coming out of the container. You'll see them crawling all the way to the top because the conditions are not suitable for them. Then the next step is feeding your worms, and the best thing to give your worms is cow manure. I have some aged cow manure over here, which a farmer was very generous enough to give me. This is very aged, and I'll be just adding this. This is actually their favorite dish. They love to eat on it, they love to munch on it, and it also provides them with a lot of nutrients. So I'll add this all over the container because now the worms are spread all over the container, and I don't want some worms to miss out on this delicious meal. I'll just mix it up nicely so that the worms go deep. Okay, now let's discuss what all things you can add in the worm bin. Firstly, you can add vegetable scraps or kitchen waste, which include anything that you don't want to eat. Also garden waste like dry dead leaves or decomposed organic matter, or even some fruits or flowers that have decomposed. You can also add eggshells, as they prove to be a very good source of calcium to the worms and they love to munch on it as an evening or an afternoon snack. They just love it. Just crush it before you use them. You can also add fruits. You can add fruits which have a lot of water in it, like papaya, watermelon and mangoes. They love papayas and mangoes altogether. And aged cow manure, as I mentioned earlier. Paper and cardboard you can add, but I don't recommend it, as nowadays they are treated with a lot of chemicals to whiten them, to give them a lot of color. So I won't recommend you that you add paper and cardboard. There are several things that you should not add in your worm bin that can increase or decrease the pH. We want the pH to be between 6 and 7, so you cannot add citrus fruits, as they contain citric acid, like lemon, lime, or oranges, sweet lime, whatever. Even oily cooked food. We tend to make food acidic when we consume it, so oily cooked food and salty food is a complete no-no, as it will just remain in the soil, it will decompose, it will be a soggy ball, and worms won't even go near it. Even meat and fish, it's actually a controversy whether to add meat or fish or not. Meat and fish, if used in smaller quantities, might do wonders, but if they are put in all together in large quantities, it will give a very, very, very foul smell, and it will be a complete mess. Ginger, garlic, or onions contain benzoic acid and other acidic compounds, so you'd better not add it in the worm bin. Stale food that has been in the fridge for a very long time contains microorganisms or bacteria. Even food that has not been in the fridge, that has been kept outside the fridge for a very long time, they contain microorganisms which you don't want to get in the container, so don't add that. Remember one thing, always keep the container in shady part. Worms hate sunlight, so they would usually go deep inside the material, deep inside the bin, and the upper layer would not get decomposed, would not get eaten. So keep it in a shady part. And to save your guests from predators, which include lizards and birds, use this kind of mesh to cover it completely, to cover the top layer completely, and also spread a cloth or rag cloth or any cloth inside, so that lizards which come after flies won't get inside the container. That's all you need to know. That's all it takes for you're installing a vermicomposting unit at your place. Hope you found this useful and interesting. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.